Hello, this is Dwayne Golden, and I'm excited to share with you today and I believe encourage you as well as put a request out to see what we can do to make sure that we as a family at Ingreso Cybernetico can contribute. We've taken some steps just a few days ago. We've taken the cost at any of our levels and we cut them in half during the coronavirus. We also have given you the opportunity so you can upgrade at will. Well, there's more to this volunteering and stepping up to make a difference than making money. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. You're a hero. We all have it within inside of us. Whether we use it or not, that's a different story. If we look back through time, if we look at World War I, World War II, the War of 1812, Spanish flu of 1918, if we look at times when our world was in crisis, if we go back to Alexander the Great, we go back to the time when India was run for 6 centuries by the Afghanistans and then, of course, by Great Britain. And we look at the different crises that nations have been through. Here's what you'll find. The heroes were never the quote-unquote obvious heroes. The heroes are the ones that no one really hears about. That's when people come together to make the difference. And they're not doing it for the credit. They're not looking for being pat on the back. They're looking to be the difference. One of the reasons, it's not often talked about, that the United States has become a superpower economically, also in warfare and other things of that sort, is because of the heroes, the silent heroes who stepped up. Many who've given their life, some who've given their legs, their limbs, and others who put themselves on the front line to be ridiculed. And guess what? When it gets down to stepping up to make a difference, you lose all barriers of color. You know, I'm skinny, I'm fat, I'm tall, I'm short. You lose all of those things and you dig right in. So I'm going to encourage you. One of the things we built our company on was the core values of the meaning of what other people have in our world and respecting their lives and their differences. And because of that, we have built a hedge around with this concept of service and serving. Well, here's an opportunity for you to step up. You can do this. I have in the description different resources that you could utilize to step up and volunteer. It may be that you're not in the right condition physically. You can't do much. No problem. There's always something we can do. But I will tell you, many of you that know how to sew, you can actually assist. Find some websites online to find out where you can contribute, maybe in sending things or mailing them or doing some things on the internet. There's others of you who could literally go to the local food bank. Some who are already prepared for international. You were going to go on vacation or something. You can have a time of your life more memorable than any vacation you ever had. If you could step up to the plate and maybe volunteer at the UN or volunteer in a country where they don't have the resources. You know, we at times, for those of us that live in North America, can have an arrogance and believe that someone owes something and complain about what's being given, but not realizing that nowhere else in the world is the government going to give their people money. Give the people money and their businesses. Some of you we didn't just join a home business, you created one, it's legally set up and everything, and you're going to qualify for money. Many don't have that opportunity. Why don't we do ourselves a favor, stretch your hand and learn what life's about? Me at 41, as I said in my email message, that's when my life began. I went out on a venture to want to lead and lead the way. And I was told and I was taught that the only way I'm going to be able to do that successfully is to become an excellent servant. And over the last 15 years, I've been serving people around the globe with the love of God and at the same time with all of my being. And there's not been a greater reward. See, when you do that, you don't have to brag to everybody about what you drive, where you live. You don't have to get too excited about you just made a check of $200,000 2 weeks ago. Nope. You can literally get down to business, which in fact is more attractive and actually more reproducible. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Some of the greater heroes we know of. We know what Gandhi did for his people. We know before 1947, there was no freedom for India, right? We know what Dr. King did on behalf, and many other civil rights leaders on behalf of people like myself who are African American, who didn't even have a right to drink at the same water fountains or use the same bathroom or ride in the same vehicle. We know what difference that is made when people have given themselves. We have a better world. We are all better people because of it. Yes, There are so many in history we can name. Did you know that before World War II, the German army, the Nazi movement had greater warfare resources than any other country in the world. They had enough that they single-handedly could have taken it over. However, they were not a match for all the people throughout Europe and the United States and other countries who had to work together to overcome. And the working together superseded the technology of that day. People would volunteer hours. Companies would stop producing. The United States stopped making cars for several years and shifted the focus to begin to make airplanes and tanks. Our planes couldn't even make it a full trip before World War II. But by the time, before it was over, we literally were kicking out between General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler over 125 planes a day. I forgot how many tanks they were producing per day, because men and women from everywhere would migrate to these areas and volunteer. Some would work, but they did whatever they could. Now, every country has their stories, but now it's our turn. What can we do? I'm leading the way. I'm going to do whatever I can. Currently, I'm serving my father, but I worked in the hospital for 8 years. I was a pre-med major. I worked in the laboratory. I worked in respiratory. Whatever I can do, I'm going to do. I want to volunteer and be a difference, but I don't just want to be a difference. I want to invite you to step up and find out what you can do. Look through the resources, find out what you can do, and I would like you to do this. Go ahead and like this video, and also, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and tell us, what is it you'd like to do? If you have the opportunity, what is it you'd like to do? What are you good at? Or what is it you possibly can do? Maybe you can't go anywhere because you are physically unfit. You are recovering from your own procedures, but your heart's there. Tell us what's on your heart. This is what makes a difference. We could just be a company that only focuses on our people and our things and our socioeconomic standing. We can do better. We are better. Won't you join me? Won't you lock arms with me? And let's make a difference together. This is Dwayne Golden. God bless you. Look through the resources and be sure to like this video and subscribe. Take care.